Hello fashionistas. Something beautiful is happening. When it comes to clothes, I'm usually an extremely drab dresser. My color palette is limited to black, white, beige, brown, gray, etc. It's not as depressing as it looks. However, I'm extremely flamboyant in the pajamas department, so naturally when I was perusing the fabric aisle a few weeks ago, I felt an intense spiritual pull to this fabric. So we're going to be making some horse pajamas. The fabric is washed and ready to go, so why don't you come over to my cutting table and we'll cut it out. You coming? Do you need this? Do you need this? How tall are you? Can you see me? This is one of my best friends, this projector. I've got it calibrated so that it can project the sewing pattern at exactly the correct scale without any distortion. Can you see that? That's my shirt moving around. It's flying around. I'm making it move around on my laptop. Isn't that crazy? Unfortunately, this fabric came in 1 yard increments, so I'm really praying that this is going to be big enough and that I won't need to get more. I've already made these pajamas like a year and a half ago. I made them in black, I made them in white, I made them in some stripes, but I've never made them in horse. There's our first back piece done. For the other half of the back piece, I'm going to do something that's slightly more involved. I'm going to try to pattern match so that even though there's a seam going down the middle of the back, the image will be uninterrupted.
Blah, 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 blah. My microphone is off. Check out my stopwatch. We're 2.5 hours into the project and I've cut out like 25% of the pieces I need. Here is a preview of how I do pattern matching. Fold the seam allowance out of the way, line the fabric up so that the pattern looks relatively matched up. Mark where that line was, re-add seam allowance, and cut out the next piece. If you do not sew, don't worry about anything that I just said.
Cutting is now complete. It took about 4 hours, which is twice as long as it would have had I not been trying to meticulously pattern match the whole time. So I have 2 of these. This is the back of the shirt. This is the front of the shirt. I have 2 of those. This is the front facing where the buttons will go. I've got 2 of those and then interfacing for them as well. 2 collar pieces and they're interfacing 2 pockets. For the shorts, I also just have 2 pieces. This is the front and back piece combined, and I also cut out a piece of elastic 1 inch smaller than my waist. And now it's time to prepare the fabric pieces. So I'm going to attach this interfacing with my iron. I had no idea that interfacing existed before I started sewing. If you have a button-up shirt, there's interfacing in it. If you have pants with a zipper and a waistband, there's interfacing in it. If you have a dress that has pockets, those pockets, or at least part of them, are probably interfaced. We're nearly 5 hours in and it's finally time to get the party started sewing-wise. I've already clipped and pinned the long edges of the facings. Also ironed the top edges of the pockets. I need to get ready to sew this collar. Lastly, I need to attach the 2 back shirt pieces together. I'm going to be doing these as a French seam so that the raw edges are encased. By the way, these are clips, these are pins. They serve extremely similar purposes. Now I get to take that collar. It is pressed, it is looking crisp and delicious. See how the top collar rolls under here at the side? So when you're wearing it, you only see the top piece. You don't really see the seam and the underlayer poking up. Now with the ironing board, I can use the stitches as a guide to fold over and press the pocket into shape. Check this out. Here's the front of my shirt. This is the line where the pocket's supposed to go. And oh my goodness, check out the pattern matching on this bad boy. You know who is my bestie when it comes to precise placement? Elmer herself. I know that pins are extremely common to set pockets in place. I just find that distorts the fabric. So I take this washable glue for 6-year-olds, let the glue dry for a few minutes so it's not wet while it's going through my sewing machine, and then sew along the perimeter. Next up, we've got the back pieces that are sewn together. I need to trim down the seam allowance ever so slightly. Now I've got to flip it, find that seam. I'm going to go iron this and pin it together all the way down. Quick check-in. We are at about 7.5 hours. I just finished assembling the back piece. The facings are still done. The collar is top stitched and prepped and ready to attach. The short legs are sewn into tubes. Is this decipherable at all? This will become a short leg. I'm constantly just baffled by these horses. I mean, imagine looking in the mirror and like, this is what you look like. That's crazy to me. You guys aren't going to believe this, but I just caught her sewing my shirt. We're back. It's the next day, and I gotta be honest, I popped off in a big way last night. I would say I'm about 85% finished. I'm not going to spoil it, so I'm basically just showing you a giant pile of fabric that is the shirt. The pattern matching is turning out low-key, swimmingly. All I have left to do today is hemming the shirt, hemming the shorts, doing the elastic waistband of the shorts, and adding the buttonholes, as well as hemming the sleeves. Timer says we're at about 11 hours. I have a feeling I'll be able to get this done within, I'm going to say 2 hours. Can I have this? Can I have that? Thank you. You can come over here. Come on. Hello team, we're 15.5 hours into the project and disaster has officially struck. I thought I was finished, buttoned everything up, and the most important pattern on the front of the shirt did not line up. It is straight up a few centimeters off, which is enough to drive me insane. I think this is exactly the kind of problem that I was bound to run into. I just measured the discrepancy between where the patterns lined up and where they should have lined up. 1 1/16 inch? Question mark, question mark, question mark. I'm back, and let me just say, moving the buttons has, I'm not going to say fixed everything, because it's created the problem of having to move the pockets, but it has certainly fixed the pattern matching. I am elated. Pajamas are done, I think. I just put them in the washing machine to get rid of all of the marker. I am now being extremely stubborn, so I'm doing a test run to see if I can successfully pattern match at the center front without having to do the button correction that I did earlier. I think my brain is pretty fried, so we will see if this works. Check out these jammies. I usually don't believe in wearing pajamas in public, but I thought I'd bring these straight to the source. There are a lot of horses around here, but I feel weird filming like people's houses and people's things. So there's some cows in the distance. I changed into these in a public bathroom and I put both of my legs into one of the short legs. And so I was like this. I did in fact used to ride horses as a child, about 10 minutes that way at a ranch. And I used to throw a football over the mountains.
It's pretty far.
I don't have like immediate access to horses, so I asked my friends on Instagram if they would draw me horses, and I paid them approximately $2 to $4 per horse. I spent like $20 on horses. So we're out here at the pasture, and here are all of my friends' horses. What do you think?
It's a lot of horses.
Running with the horses. Trespassing with the horses. You want to look at them up close?
Hello and welcome to my PowerPoint. Look at all these horses, a PowerPoint. This is the first one I got when I put the call out. Showed up number 1 to the game, works hard and plays harder. Broke 2 legs but still serves face. Inside you there are 2 wolves, horses. Born in the parking lot at Outback Steakhouse and pissed off about it. This is an Ackman, that's an Outback Steakhouse. It's not the Outback Steakhouse, but they probably look the same. Beauty and nutrition from every angle. First horse with an EGOT. EGOT, of course, standing for Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony. Magical. I am reminded of Heidi Klum and outer space. The artist said, I tried really hard, on the face at least, and then it just kept happening. Rested and hydrated to the point of complete porelessness. Pink Pony Club, I'm gonna keep on dancing at the Pink Pony Club. This one's mine. Selective use of accessories to hide fucked up feet and eyes. Divine ingenue, I would do anything for her. Acts all silly, but secretly knows how to read and write, which to me is deeply toxic. Shoplifts from Sephora 3 times a week, but would never steal from a small business, obviously. And I imagine this is the purse that this horse would use to shoplift from Sephora. The ideal masculine form. Drawing instead of listening during your 8th grade algebra class about y equals mx plus b. Also, wait, look at these curvy legs on Spirit. Here's one that I bet nobody was expecting. Anti-horse and pro-goose propaganda on the second beef-related medium. That's a beef noodle soup dish and the back of the receipt for said beef dish. First and only digital horse, you have got to be kidding me. Look at the musculature. Thank you.
Anyway, thank you everyone for supporting this horse journey. Thank you to my friends who drew me horses after countless unrelenting harassment posts on Instagram. Hey Margot, do you like my pajamas? Thank you.